So what do you have in your notebook, sir, that I didn't ask you about before I let you go? What's the one thing that you're hearing, talking, what we should be talking about? Go for it. What do you have?
Well, when you talk about hot seats within the NFL, and I'll be, close to this division coming up on this Sunday on game day morning.
Mhm.
One of the things you hear a lot within the league is, does everybody who doesn't win the NFC South end up having significant changeover in the course of the offseason? Because right now you've got everybody in that division is at or below 500. There's going to be a tremendous amount of pressure, at least externally, on some of these organizations, whether that's in Tampa, which right now, is a 4-7 team, whether it is in New Orleans, where they've just been gashed by injuries throughout the course of this season. They got a new quarterback. They've had no consistency. They might be without like their top three receivers this week. Atlanta seems to be in a little different category. Really, they haven't spent a high pick or a lot of money on the quarterback position. That would maybe be the last piece. I haven't sensed that there's really any urgency there. But as this season plays out, that's certainly going to be worth keeping an eye on as we're upcoming here. And then, some of the other things, I think that you look at some of the players who potentially are going to be coming back from injury during the latter part of this season. Justin Jefferson is certainly a big part of it. I was told last week he was very close to playing in that Monday night game against Chicago. You certainly, in watching that game play out and watching how little separation the Vikings receivers were getting, you could say they really could have used him in that game. But that was a good example of how the Vikings do things, where it was clear and open communication throughout. They want to make sure the guy is 100%. With the bye, he's got an extra week. They fully anticipate next week full participation. He'll be 100%, and he'll be back on the field against the Raiders December 10th.
And then just real quick, the comment by Kevin O'Connell after that game is Josh Dobbs maybe out and Nick Mullins in? Like, what was that evaluation of the position comment that he said after that?
They are going to evaluate everything. That process started last week. I know that the coaches and everybody else was getting away through the course of this weekend, which, with the way the buys are structured right now, Rich, these are long stretches. Teams like the Vikings with a week 13 bye, you're talking about from the start of camp, that's 4+ months with no time off. So everybody kind of taking a minute to reboot. I would tell you now, if I were making an educated guess, I would say it's still Josh Dobbs as the quarterback. But Nick Mullins has gotten healthier. He's played a lot in similar types of systems. They, of course, also have Jaron Hall, who they took in the 5th round out of BYU. He looked, at least looked like he could move around in that game against Atlanta, but he suffered a concussion on the second series here. So they do potentially have options. You would think, though, Jefferson coming back, Dobbs had a pretty good couple of games out of the gate. Let's see, when you get the best receiver in the NFL back on the field, how that might be able to help out Josh Dobbs. If it doesn't go well, or maybe they do decide to pivot, then you got a guy, Nick Mullins, who's played a lot of games.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.